Hey guys, it's Sid here with SVTperformance.com, and I am in San Antonio, Texas with the Friends of Ford F-150 Lightning reveal event. Got to spend some time with these trucks, and I'm going to put together a series of videos for you guys. The first one, this one that you're watching now, is going to be kind of long. Basically, I filmed all of Ford's guys going through the features and everything on this truck, so I'm just going to let them explain it all to you. And apparently the Lightning is worthy to wield the hammer of Thor, so that's good. But we'll start out with that. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. Next video will just be me going through some of these trucks and showing some of the features and everything that I think you guys might be interested in. And then finally, I have to wait for this one because the information's embargoed, but I'm going to give you my thoughts on riding and driving in it. They had us on a very tight, very small course. I only got to do 2 lips. So it's not like I got a full driving experience, but I will let you know my initial impressions. I've been talking to some of the Ford guys, and they're going to try and get us one of these things out for a full test fairly soon. But until then, I hope this kind of holds you guys over. So for now, let's just see what the Ford guys have to say about it.
Mate, it's faster than a Raptor, starting at $39,000. You think that would be the first thing everyone would talk about? Because if you ask for 50 horsepower on a Raptor, people are going crazy. This thing outruns all of them easily in a second, but it's not. The first thing everybody talked about is this. And this one's the whole, hey, you removed an engine and you put a front in easy, right? No, the engine's this big, front is this big. And every single thing that you want, it wants to be in that place. Like the brake system, the heating and ventilation system, the battery system, other ancillaries, got 2 separate cooling loops in this truck, so that when you're towing 10,000 pound up the Hoover Dam, it won't overheat. So everything wants to be there. And we went out early on to work out what matters to people, and we worked out that this is going to matter to you. So when we started doing it, and it was difficult, and I'm telling you, it's one of the most difficult things I've ever engineered, although you wouldn't think so, right? Then we knew it was worth it. I'd come down to the engineers, there'd be 20 of them waiting there, like, hey, we need to talk to you. You come down, and they're all like, hey, I know you want this front, but you don't really want to move the brake cylinder from there, do you? Like, yeah. Like, oh man, it's tough, right? And that's what it took. One day I went down and went, oh, doesn't that look a bit smaller? What do you mean? Like, give me a measuring tape. Hey, it got, well, yeah, well, something was in the way, right? So we did all that, and that's why it's a funny shape, and it's not obvious. All the other companies really went with, hey, a nice square shape, right? That's not what customers wanted, right? Then it's got this 400-pound weight. None of these fronts have that. A secret, it's a mega, there's a mega brace underneath, right? That's what holds, that's why. And you've got this under here as well, which means you can, store a lot in it, and it's got our patented, you can put ice in there and it comes through, this, right? But the thoughtfulness in it is huge. So all around you've got little clips here, right, that move in and out, because they really thought about how you're going to use it. Even the lights, where's the light? Why is there no light? Because you don't want the light down here, you want the light up here. So there's 2 lights, you press the button and the lights come on, right? So it's really, really thoughtful. There's also a little glowing button in there because it won't just fit one person. You can get quite a few small people in here. So there's a button that is a safety system that is literally aircraft level. That button, and we haven't talked about that much, but because you've got to be able to press the button, it's got to open. No matter what, no matter when, no matter what happens to the batteries, or if you're underwater, it's got to open, right? So that button there's 2 computer systems monitoring that the whole time just to make sure it's for safety. And if you're under 5 miles an hour, kilometers, and that button's pressed, it will open fully. And if you're over 5 miles an hour, it will open partially, so that it doesn't make you crash, but there's somebody in the front, right? So these are the things that had to be thought about when that design. That's why it's really, really hard, right? That's the first one. The second one is bi-directional power and pro power on board. That's the second thing most people talk about with the truck. It's a rolling power pack. Why wouldn't it be? Right? It's the biggest power pack you've ever seen in your life, right? The power that it takes to run these trucks and tow like that is immense. It will give 9.6 kilowatts of power. So if you put that into, that's a mansion running really the power of that. Most houses run much less than that. And it'll run that for 3 days, up to 10 days, right? Because it's that big, the battery's that big, it's another level that, if you think of it, right? That's the second one. The third thing is then how it feels. So it's I keep saying 563 horsepower because that's what we've said all along, but it's not, it's 580 horsepower. So the team over-delivered. and it's 775 foot-pounds of torque. And that's like explaining how a Ferrari feels. It doesn't tell you anything at all, except that's a law. But what you'll feel is that comes in a fraction of a second, like a blink of an eye. A gas car, all gas cars, even the fastest gas car, takes time to build up. This just goes. And you'll feel that today. Even hardened electric journalists who've driven everything and been everywhere, get in the truck and go, yeah, damn, right? And it's also the size of the thing. When you're inside, it's a proper family car that feels spacious. It's got the biggest second row of any electric car ever made. And it feels like that. And so that's why you don't expect it to take off like it does. And at 50 miles an hour, it does the same thing. When you're towing something like a boat, at 60 miles an hour, you put your foot, and it still takes off like most sedans. It's amazing. Electric, it's just something that electric can do. Then we move inside. We wanted it to be a tech-forward product. So it has the screen system from the Mustang Mach-E. That system is now further developed. So it's a much later software. And it links into CarPlay and Android Auto, which is shown that our customers use most. In 3 minutes of getting in the truck, and you connect your phone wirelessly, up comes your CarPlay, all your stuff, your Spotify, music, iHeartRadio, whatever you like, your whole thing. Because Ford's philosophy, this is yours for you. We don't make you come to use what we want you to. Use your stuff, Waze, all your routes, everything. So that's why it does it, and it comes up. It now expands. You press the button, it fills the whole screen. It's the biggest implementation of any car ever. It's the best implementation of CarPlay and Android in any car available. And that's what we want it to be. The control knob is a new innovation as well. It's bonded to the screen purposely because it's actually like a mouse. It's not just a volume control. And we started to switch it on now. So there's one of the games that uses the control as for the game. But it does a lot more. It actually knows when you're touching it and where, and you can press it and turn it. So it does a few functions, but it's going to do more and more. We're just starting to switch it on. So you'll see that in there when you notice it. And you can see the display through the center of it. That's purposeful as well, because it's going to keep changing functions so you can see what it does. Next thing, office functions. So these are just the best portable office. You know how we're all working these days. You're moving around all the time, right? Well, I've taken it in to go to meetings, driven to the office and said, why am I getting out? And you flip over the table, press the button, and the gear stick goes down, and you've got an office. And then you connect your phone through via the connection system, put your laptop on, and you are in an office, an air-conditioned office, with probably a lot better audio and microphones than you've got in your office at home. Certainly me. I did 9 hours working in the truck one day. Didn't feel anything. It was great. So that's what EVs do as well. And then it's programs that you can program it to do that and stay on for you and keep the temperatures. You can walk off. You can set it to maintain. That's what I do. I get out of the truck and hit set it to maintain. I come back and it's ready. I haven't got into a vehicle without it being prepared for me for over 2 years. I'm on Android. I've been using that one at the moment, and I just say the keywords: prepare the car, and it prepares the car. I've never got into a hot or a cold car in 2 years. Why? I don't even have to pick it up. I'm just getting ready in the bathroom. It's on the side. I just say it, and it connects the car. You do it with the watch, with the app. You just don't get into a car like this without preparing it for it. Okay? It's like a butler. Okay. Sound system. So the B&O sound system is absolutely fantastic on the Platinums. So you'll hear that today. I think sound's really important. It's emotional, and they're so quiet. That sound is excellent. So have a listen to that and see as well. I think that's really important. And then the rest of the technology. These trucks do a lot of things. Have a look. You press the little truck at the top and look at the stuff it does. Automatic trailering, hitching, or fully automatic, goes all the way up to the trailer and puts the ball underneath, makes you look like a pro, whether you are or not. Pro backup assist with a little steering wheel where you hook the trailer to it and you have to reverse it down. It steers it for you and it automatically works out. I had a senior executive say to me, I'll present to 5,000 people, no problem. But reversing a boat down the ramp on a Saturday afternoon when there's 50 people watching is freaking terrifying. And so this made you look like a professional, nobody knows, right? All-round lighting system. You'll see the lighting, you hit the button and you can click all the way around the vehicle and it lights all the way around. In the mirrors, even in the footstep here, it's got lighting. And at the back, so you put this in a field and hit, the whole thing's lit up like you're the centre of the party. and then hands-free drive. So Blue Cruise hands-free. So Ford's philosophy is a family company, okay? And so we explain how a hands-free works. It either works blue, take your hands off, or it doesn't, not blue, put your hands on. That's the instructions. And it takes care of the rest. Sometimes it'll switch off and you don't know why. It knows why. Trust it knows why. But the reason is because it's not going to be false alarming or one of those surprise you. Because once it does that once to you, you're now nervous and you don't want to use it. Right? My family, my wife won't use any of those systems before, and now she does. Okay, so you'll see that today. Hopefully you'll see that when you go on your drive. There's 2 cameras monitoring your eyes. So you've got to make sure you're paying attention. If you don't, it'll tell you off. And there's 2 of them, and they work through your sunglasses because they're at an infrared frequency, okay? This is the thought that's gone into this, okay? Can't have a missile like this going down the road without monitoring the driver. That's why we do it that way. Other companies do it different ways. That's okay for them. This is who we are, okay? And then the seats, I could go on for ages, but you'll see the rest of it. There's loads of things, but there's a lot of technology in this thing. And play around with the technology, have a look at it. It's amazing. Oh, we have weighing scales in the back, so it knows the weight. Because we needed to know the weight. Because if you are new to trailering, you get one of these, you get a boat and you put it on the back, you need to know what happens to the range. If you didn't do that, you get halfway to the charger and say, hey, can't make it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Pull over and drop your boat? Yeah, we can't have that. So this vehicle measures that trailer. It tells you to drive off, it measures the your trailer. It compares it to many that are in the cloud. And when you say I'm going on that journey, it will look in the cloud for somebody with a trailer similar that went on that journey and say, this is how many miles you get. So it will get more and more accurate. I want 5% accuracy before you leak. Most EVs are not 5% accuracy today without a trailer. That's what we need so you never get left out. So that's our intelligent range system. Okay? So I'll stop there for now. I could go for ages. All right, so good. So you want to get over there. Good, go and learn some more, and then I just want to hear your impressions when you drive it. All right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Right, so this here is Ryan O'Gorman. He works on energy services here at Ford, and he is going to teach you all about the power that's possible with F-150 Lightning.
Hi, Ryan.
Hello, good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good morning.
You guys are the lucky ones. It's kind of cool stuff. So it's worth it. Yeah. So I don't know. Have you guys heard about intelligent backup power at all?
Yes.
Some of you, okay. So, and you've probably heard of Pro Power on board. So the way I think about my job is, at Ford, a lot of people are focused on moving down the road and all the vehicle dynamics and the fun things you do in a car. I have the exciting job of, you now have a battery in your truck, and what can you do with that when it's parked? So kind of different way of thinking. So you can't really do a whole lot with gas vehicles. Sometimes you'll hear about power takeoffs. With this, you have, if you're familiar with stationary storage units that go in a house, I won't drop any brands, but this is basically 10 of those. So you get 10 with the truck. So you get it for driving down the road, but then we're giving you access to that capability. So having grown up here in Texas, down in Houston, I was here last February, and if you guys were watching the media, February is like an apocalypse. Is anybody here from Texas, or? Oh, okay, lucky you. So yeah, I was in the Houston area, and I was down for a soccer tournament. We didn't play a game of soccer, but it was a total blackout, and that happened a long time ago. But blackouts can be inconvenient, but this was like a wipeout. And here in Texas, it's a good idea for some reason to run your water pipes in the outside of your walls and in the attic. So a lot of collapsed ceilings. My parents' ceiling collapsed on their car in the garage. Quite a big mess. And then I was the only one on the road the first day, I think, because I was from Michigan, so driving on ice wasn't foreign to me. But there's nobody out. Every store was closed. People couldn't get to work. You couldn't get food. Grocery stores were closed. It's kind of like, if you remember the first part of COVID, where everything was just, there was nothing. So if you weren't prepared, it was a long few days. With this, what you'll get is 3 days of power with a fully charged extended range vehicle. That covers most blackouts. If you want to ration your energy, so that's a typical home, right? Most homes use about 30 kilowatt hours a day. So you get 3 days out of this. If you want to extend that, you can get out to 10 days. So a great example is if you're on vacation and you have your truck plugged in, the power should go out, and it's going to run your sump pump, your freezer, all your critical loads in your house to make sure nothing goes bad. And if you've ever had an outage while you're out of town and the freezer thaws, that's actually one of the worst. If you have wood floors, it ruins it, and the smell, it takes a long time to get rid of.
I feel like you speak from experience.
Yeah. don't let your freezer thaw. That's a bad thing. So if you guys step over here, I'll show you what you need to have this happen. So you're familiar with the extended range variants and the standard range variants. So it's just battery size. So with the extended range, we do something cool. It's not really first industry, but for me, it's really cool. So for the extended range, we give you, you're modeling for me, the Charge Station Pro. So yeah, there you go. So the Charge Station Pro is a 19.2 kilowatt charger. So that's the highest you can probably get in your house for the standard that they provide. So we're offering that. The extended range vehicle comes with dual onboard chargers. You'll hear that term. A lot of people don't understand what that means. So when you think about your little box that plugs into your laptop, right, that kind of provides the power that your laptop needs. So your onboard charger is similar. It takes the AC energy, converts it to DC into your battery. So whatever the size of that thing is, and most EVs in market today are like 11 kilowatts. So that gives you 2 of them, so you can do 19.2. So you can put a bunch of energy in there really quick. So in an outage, I might be using 2.5 kilowatts an hour. And then if I have like a rolling blackout in California or some sort of intermittent outage, I'll get 19.2 coming back in. Now, depending on your home, you can install this at lower levels. Some people kind of freak out like, oh, I don't have that much room in my panel. Well, we've made it adjustable. So we've thought of the customer and done it. So if you get home from work, somebody's decided to wrap this up. I never wrap mine up at home because it just takes a while to undo it this much. But when you're at home, if you come home and you would just normally, most people with EVs plug in when they get home, you would just plug this in and you would just start charging. So when we talk about charging, there's AC and DC, or level 2 and level 3. So if you're out driving around in public, you'll see the big Electrify America and those big larger stations. That uses this portion, and these are DC pins. This goes directly into the battery and avoids that onboard charger. So there's no real limitation apart from the capacity of the vehicle. This part's AC, so a lot of home chargers will just look like that. We've added this because we use the DC ports so we can take the energy directly off the battery to the house. So you come home from work and you plug this in, and you know, you're sitting on your couch or whatever, you're watching TV or dealing with your children. I have 4. So the power would go out. About 40-45 seconds later, the power would come back on automatically because we've used one connection to the vehicle, and that connection allows you to take the DC off. So that's why we've added those ports to it. And then it would continue to operate until the power came back on, and then it would automatically transfer over back to come on. So my story is like, imagine you're sitting on your couch and your power goes out, comes back on, your neighbor calls you and says your power out. You have to hold on a second, and you look at the app and you can see that, yeah, it's running off the truck, which is another story is we've installed a lot of these, and I was in the basement with one guy, and we tested it. And so I'm down, just me and him in his kind of creepy basement, and he has his phone, just his little light on, and we shut the power off. And you know, within like 40 seconds, it comes back on. He's like a little kid. He looks over at me and goes, "That's a truck? That's cool." It was, and for me, it was kind of cool too. But first time you do it, it's cool. After that, I got used to it. But so the other thing you need, so if you have the extended range, like I said, you get the Charge Station Pro with it. You would get the home integration system that goes into your house. So just like you have that adapter that takes your AC from your house, makes it DC to the battery, this is the inverse. We're taking DC out of the truck. It comes through your inverter here, converts it to AC that your house can use, and then puts it into your main electrical system. So this is 9.6 kilowatts, so that's will run most homes. I mean, if you're a heavy electrical load and appliances, then you have to make some choices, but a lot of places in the country run off of gas for a lot of their appliances. If you have a hot tub and things like that, again, decisions to make. But 9.6 kilowatts, this is an automatic transfer switch, so if you have backup power in your house today with a gas generator, this disconnects you from the grid automatically. So basically, when it sees the outage, it disconnects you from the grid because you can't have power running into the house. It'll run back up the lines to where the linemen are working. So this home integration system is a purchase. Sunrun is somebody we're working with. Anybody not know Sunrun? All right, so Sunrun is like the largest retailer of solar in the States right now. We're working with them as an installer because they know how sophisticated systems get put into your house, and they can help you weigh the decisions you have to make. Everything from just installing charging to installing charging and backup power, and they offer solar. So the cool thing about this inverter is you can plug your truck into it, right? Truck goes through and then the energy will flow into the house. This will also support 2 stationary storage units or home batteries and a solar array. So it's kind of cool that we have the DC port on there, right? Because now we have an entire DC potential ecosystem in the house that can then operate into the future. So think about like 5 years ago, somebody said this to me, never would have thought an F-150 would drive on the sun. And it's just kind of a cool concept. Like if you think of what an F-150 was 5 years ago, and you told somebody back then, one day you're gonna have an F-150 that drives on solar power, it's like, they would have thought solar panels over the truck, what are you talking about? So it's kind of a cool opportunity for customers. But it depends on the adoption the customer's ready for. Some will just adopt charging, some will adopt charging and backup. I would obviously adopt backup. So we'll walk around the other side of the truck real quick. A couple other things I want to tell you, which is the cool part for me, because it means I have a job for a long time. So once you install this in your house, it's branded Intelligent Backup Power. So in the future, we're coming with a product called Intelligent Power. Intelligent Power is leveraging the same exact system you just put into your house, but the nice part about it is through the cloud. First, are you guys familiar with time of use rates? I don't know. I know you guys are from all over the country, but some people, like if you're out west, you're really familiar with time of use rates. If you're in Texas or if you own an EV, you usually understand, but some people, they've never heard of it. Well, time of use rates is basically a variable cost of electricity. So imagine you're driving into work in the morning or driving somewhere in the morning and gas is $2.50 a gallon. On your way home, it's $10 a gallon. You'd probably change your behavior, right? Because you're not going to want to fill up in that evening time period. So time of use is very similar. So you'll hear about brownouts, you'll hear about when the grid is taxed or heavily loaded. What that means is all the businesses are typically still operating, so they're up and running, and everybody's coming home from work and turning the TVs on, computers on, starting to cook, things like that. So it's called peak. So you've got this kind of double duty for the grid to support all that additional energy. And then off peak is typically overnight. So overnight, everybody's sleeping, everything's gone down. So what they do with time of use or variable cost of electricity is they make it very cheap at night. And here in Texas, if you have an EV, you can actually get on an electricity plan where it's free electricity overnight for charging and on the weekends. So imagine now you're charging up overnight, and during that peak period in places like LA, it can be 4 times the cost. A lot of places it's 2 times the cost, like in Michigan and some other folks or other places. And basically what this truck will do through the cloud is it'll charge up on that low cost energy. And if you have solar and your car is home when the sun's shining, it'll charge up the truck during that period. And then in the evening when you hit peak and the costs go up, all of a sudden you'll run your home off the truck. So you don't have to do anything. What you've plugged in, it'll charge automatically at the right time, discharge at the right time. And it's kind of cool because it alleviates the cost on your utility bill. And then some people ask, isn't that gaming the grid? There's variable opinions on that, but the reality is they really want to reduce peak, and the last thing they want is vehicles charging there. So we're already facilitating that. And then to actually be able to take home load off the grid during those periods is a benefit. So they incentivize people to move those loads to those periods, which is we're just doing that. There's a third piece to that people don't really understand. So those are pretty obvious. The third one is if I have a home and say I live here in Texas, usually my dad would turn the heat or the air conditioner up, right, to save some money because it's going to run nonstop on those hot days. It's usually when you want to do this. And basically what would happen is you can put your thermostat or whatever you want, right? Because you're not being a bad contributor to the grid because you're running off your truck. So you've already alleviated your load to the grid. And so if you want to take a little extra back, you're doing it at low cost. So any questions? I ran through that really quick. I want to keep you guys on track. So, are you good?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll walk around to the urban farm around the back here. So basically, Pro Power on board, right? You have power wherever you go, which is cool. I'm looking really forward to that. And then Intelligent Backup Power and then Intelligent Power. And then on the commercial side, we use things like Pro Power on board for all kinds of things that we've seen commercial folks looking really forward to. So hopefully Mark's over here. If not, have to go find him. Mark?
Guys, feel free to make yourself comfortable here. You can grab a seat and all that good stuff. As everybody comes in, we'll get started, but I wanted to introduce Mark Cole.
Oh, there he
He
is.
with Ford Pro, and he's going to talk you through how Ford has solutions for our commercial customers. Hi, Mark.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah. Hello. Morning, everyone. My name is Mark Paul. I'm with Ford Pro. Specifically, I'm with our Ford Pro charging team, which we created last year to help our fleet customers through the transition to electrification. So Ford Pro is about accelerating productivity for our customers. We have vehicles, charging, telematics, service, and we're striving to be always there and have an always-on relationship with our customers, help them get the most out of their vehicles. So with Ford Pro, we've developed all of these services beyond the vehicles to bring together that complete vehicle and service need. So we're really excited about what our electric vehicles like the F-150 Lightning and the E-Transit can do for our fleet customers. They're really getting all electric, full-size van and truck options available directly from an automaker for the very first time with these launches. So our fleets are solving some of these challenges for the very first time, and at Ford Pro, we're there to help them. So that starts with charging. So I want to take you over here. We created Ford Pro Charging to be a complete end-to-end charging solution for our customers. As I mentioned, they're solving these challenges, many cases for the first time. So in the gas and diesel vehicles in their fleet, they typically don't have to put in their own fueling infrastructure and can rely on the public infrastructure out there. And they certainly don't have to invest in fueling infrastructure in their drivers' homes, in their personal homes. So fleets, it's not just the electrification, it's also charging and being able to manage a fleet of EVs. We've developed solutions to help them through each of those unique challenges. So it starts with software to take data from chargers, take data from the vehicles, and monitor and manage their fleet effectively and reduce costs of charging as much as possible. And hardware, we have a full range of charging hardware designed with fleets in mind, ranging from an overnight charger, level 2 charger like you see here. They all have cellular capability included, so they automatically connect. They can put them in a parking lot or a driver's home, don't have to worry about Wi-Fi coverage. And we can then provide remote support, so all of our chargers have this 1-800-34 fleet number really prominent, so that the driver knows immediately if they have any trouble charging, they know who to call. We established a team of charging agents in our fleet contact center dedicated to helping customers with their charging challenges and needs. We also have DC fast chargers, a full range of those available for our customers. So whether they want to bring in an overnight charger like this or supplement that with larger DC chargers that can top off a vehicle like this in less than 45 minutes, we're there to support them. We brought in installation partners that can help with either installing at their own facilities or a network of electricians where with one bill and one contract, they can install at hundreds of drivers' homes if needed instead of hiring out each individual electrician for a job. So beyond charging, you mentioned we have data from the chargers, we have data from the vehicles. Our fleet customers of F-150 Lightning get 3 years of access to fleet-specific digital services, including e-telematics, which is a fully capable telematics solution that is available for, we have a product available for our gas vehicles today. Includes things like monitoring the vehicles, maintenance alerts, monitoring driver behavior, to provide updates on things like fast acceleration. But we built in a bunch of EV-specific features and included it for 3 years with every fleet EV. So the fleet manager, all the things they can do on their gas vehicle are still there, but they also have a live range map to make sure they're sending out the right vehicle for the right job. They get alerts if the vehicle wasn't plugged in when it should have been, so that they don't show up at the next shift and find out the vehicle needs to be charged. And public charging. So I think you learned about the Blue Oval Charge Network. We launched that with Mustang Mach-E for our retail customers on the Ford Pass app. Our fleet customers have unique needs, and so we developed a touchscreen app in the vehicle and a billing service for the fleets where they can activate this, and the driver can activate any charger in the Blue Oval network through the touchscreen. They don't need a smartphone. They don't have to carry around a physical card like a lot of other solutions out there. And it all bills back centrally to the fleet across all of their vehicles every month. We have the cloud-connected navigation included for 3 years as well, so drivers know, can they make it to the job site, can they make it back home, and not have to worry about their range. So all of those digital capabilities, we built them with the EV and fleet customer in mind, and then included them so that our fleet customers can be more effective in their transition to electrification. Now finally, the vehicle itself. The F-150 Lightning wouldn't have been complete without making a version specific for our fleet customers. And commercial and government customers have unique needs. So we developed this product, the F-150 Lightning Pro, that's a game changer, not just for work trucks, or not just for electric trucks in general, but for work trucks overall. So it really opens up new capabilities with what a fleet can do with their vehicle, with things like the Mega Power front up here. So it has an ergonomic loading height, 400 pounds, 400 liters of cargo. The fleet driver, they can throw dirty equipment in here, rinse it out, and it will drain out the bottom. They have power available and can even run tools and equipment using this as a work platform. And it's lockable storage, something that a normal truck doesn't have without bringing in extra equipment into the bed of the truck. So really using this space in a new way and driving productivity. And then of course, Pro Power on board. This is a complete game changer for our fleets in terms of what they can do with the vehicle. So having a generator on wheels without having to carry one around, the fleet drivers, they can carry their tools around, and instead of having to go back and haul a generator back in, they have power wherever they need it, just plug in. In the front here, charging tools or batteries, they can recharge power tools while they're driving to the next job site, or in the back of the truck here, you can have a 240 volt option to really match the capability of a full-scale generator. And so you can see that here, the example of being able to carry around equipment, power it directly from the back of the truck without needing a generator, and opening up new capabilities on the job site. And really something that even a generator can't do, you can use this indoors as well. We have fleet customers that are planning to use vehicles in interesting locations like an underground mine, where having an electric truck, it's just amazing for them. Something that they've been waiting for, and it's finally here with the F-150 Lightning Pro. So we are incredibly excited about how we're helping our customers shift into electrification with the vehicle, with charging, consulting with them to help ensure that they're effective bringing in electric into their fleets, and have been overwhelmed by the response from our customers for this product. So I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Thanks for stopping by to learn about Ford Pro and our commercial and government customers, and how much more we can offer with this product, with keeping those customers in mind.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
Thank you.
What are the different charge time levels? You said DC fast, you do
Yes.
25 for the shorter battery, the 230?
So both standard and extended range on a high power DC fast charger, like the size of the green one you saw out there.
Yeah.
They both can charge up to 80% in less than 45 minutes. They're just a few minutes apart.
Right.
So the standard range, like this truck here, on one of these chargers here,
Yeah.
they charge 15 to 100% in 10 hours. We have a bigger AC charger that goes all the way up to 19 kilowatts. This one's 11 here. 19 kilowatts is the maximum the industry standard actually supports. So we put that bigger charger on the extended range truck so that our customers can get actually an 8-hour charge without having to invest in a DC fast charger. It's for day-to-day charging. So put that bigger charger in the vehicle. We offer the 19 kilowatt option, and they can still get an overnight charge with the huge battery on this vehicle, the extended range.
You said that's a 10 kilowatt?
This is 11 kilowatts here. Yep. So this meets the needs of the standard range F-150 Lightning, the E-Transit, Mustang Mach-E, and then the 19 kilowatt version serves the extended range Lightning, but also other vehicles as well. That's the beauty of industry standards. Customers using our solutions for Ford and non-Ford vehicles, and even other types of equipment, non-road equipment. So industry standardization really helps our fleets in particular.